Well, the turnout was exceptional, as it certainly lived up to its billing as Moscow's biggest parade. The GOP warned the president that his actions would be considered unlawful, but the president explained in tonight's address to the nation why his actions were legal and also challenged both parties in Congress to work together and not against each other. We expect a response from the Republicans in the near future. Back to you at the desk. That's right, Brenna, the former Olympic athlete known as the Blade Runner for the blade-like prosthesis he wore while competing arrived at the courthouse today to determine his fate. Under South Africa law, Pistorius will have to serve at least 1/6 of his sentence behind bars. But after serving 10 months, he'll be able to ask to be on house arrest.
Will Cheshier has more.
The WSU Board of Regents recently listened to a proposal of a fountain out in front of the Murrow building. The fountain will be a symbol, as water is the life source of the planet, just as the donors are the life source of the university. It is currently in its beginning stages, and one WSU student is excited for the change.
I think it's pretty sweet that Elson and WSU is putting in some fountains there. It's going to brighten everybody's days, so exciting stuff. Thanks, Elson.
The popular destination for grad students to take their pictures on the corner of Stadium Way and Highway 270 will be renovated. President Elson Floyd says the area should look pristine and be a symbol of the school. One WSU student believes it will benefit the university.
It really gives our school a nice face that I feel would look good in a lot of promotional stuff.
The renovation of the welcome sign will have a budget of $1.25 million. Floyd says they are sensitive to the landscape of the area, and the new sign will be made of basalt rocks to complement the rolling hills. President Floyd says he would like to get construction underway soon, but doesn't have a fixed date at this time. Floyd also says that he would like to avoid interference with this spring's graduation. For Murrow News 8, I'm William Cheshier. This past Saturday marked the 125th anniversary of the University of Idaho. The U of I celebrated with their annual homecoming parade involving 140 entries, with politicians from across the state among them. It is an election year, after all. Homecoming staff prepped the entries by lining them in the correct order and setting up a check-in station. The committee ropes off Main Street in downtown Moscow and communicates frequently using walkie-talkies.
It's a great celebration for the University of Idaho community and alums from all over the state. It's been a great parade, a long parade with lots of living groups, lots of politicians and school bands from all over the state, and it's been a great time.
Schools across the region, members of the Greek community, and ordinary citizens all entered into the celebration. You might think the job is seasonal, but members of the homecoming committee began the planning process for next year's homecoming immediately following the end of the parade. They complete their cleanup and establish a new homecoming committee. As much work as they put in, it certainly gives a rewarding experience for returning alumni.
It's a wonderful place to be and a wonderful university, and go Vandals.
Go Vandals.
The electric energy carried over onto the football field as the Vandals secured their first win, defeating New Mexico State 29-17. Back to you guys at the desk.
It may be winter here in the Palouse, but that doesn't mean farmers aren't still hard at work. The Palouse stretches from Visalia down through Lewiston, Idaho, and the rolling hills make the Palouse like no other farming land in the world. Farmers commonly raise wheat, barley, peas, and canola among other items throughout the farming season taking place from May through early October.
Farmers plant what they call white wheat in the fall in order to give themselves a head start for the springtime harvest. What you see behind me are called silos. These silos contain large quantities of grains that farmers come back to extract in May when it comes time to harvest.
During the winter, farmers plan for the season by repairing their machinery in order for them to be fully prepared to harvest once the winter is over. Local farmer Rich Olson is currently repairing his combines and explains how the combine is used for farming.
This is a combine that we've got torn apart, and this is what we use to harvest our wheat and barley and lentils and canola. And it will harvest approximately 100 acres per day.
Mr. Olson's farm consists of 5,000 acres and uses a more unique way of farming. Instead of cultivating and tilling the soil like others, he chooses not to till in order to prevent any erosion. Wheat is measured in bushels at 60 pounds per bushel. Farmers in the Palouse are capable of yielding 100 bushels of wheat an acre, doubling the national average without using irrigation. Columbia Basin farmers irrigate their land and average 120 to 130 bushels. Mr. Olson thinks the reason is simple that people need to know about farming.
Well, as we've been talking about agriculture and here in the Palouse, everybody eats, and this is where it starts.
For the Monroe News, I'm William Cheshier.
AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd is in custody. Our own Brenna Kelly is live in the newsroom with the details. Good evening, Brenna. WSU Jazz members boogied down at the Bill Bullock Jazz Night. Monroe News 8's Derek Pierce has the hot sounds of the cool jazz. When it's pouring rain outside or possibly dumping snow, the Pullman Community Weather Spotters may be the first to respond. Andrew Brown from the National Weather Service trained Pullmanites on proper ways to identify hazardous weather and how to report it. A storm spotter's main job is to report severe weather conditions to the National Weather Service in Spokane. Those weather spotters are sure going to come in handy once the cold winter weather starts coming in. Haley, will the temperatures be dropping anytime soon? A 22-year-old Philadelphia woman was found in Maryland after being abducted Sunday. Carlisha Freeland Gaither was freed yesterday afternoon by police after tracking device led to her rescue. Officers were able to surround the car of her alleged abductor, Delvin Barnes, in a parking lot. Barnes appeared in court today and waived his right to an extradition hearing. He will now head to Virginia, where he faces charges of attempted murder and sexual assault. The body of his girlfriend was discovered Tuesday afternoon. A person claiming to be the killer posted photos of the body on the site 4chan before authorities became aware of the murder. Police say Kalick is cooperating with them. Washington State will be voting on two conflicting ballot issues on background checks for gun buyers. Initiative 591 would forbid the state expansion of background checks for gun purchases beyond the current federal law. Meanwhile, Initiative 594 would require background checks for people who purchase guns in private sales and at gun shows. It's more of the same. Rain showers in the morning. Scattered rain showers continue into the afternoon with a high of 61 degrees. For their 5-day forecast, take a look as we increase temperatures throughout the week with a high of 74 next Saturday when the Cougars take on the California Golden Bears for the homecoming game. Well, fortunately, it did heat up today as temperatures increased to 69 degrees. And currently, right now, we're sitting at about 60 degrees for this evening. Temperatures will drop to 45 degrees overnight, so make sure to bring a jacket if you're heading out tonight. Welcome back. After heavy rain last night, Pullman saw some beautiful, mostly sunny skies today. With a high temperature of 59 degrees today, currently we are sitting at a cool 49 degrees. We had mostly cloudy skies over in Seattle, Olympia, and Vancouver, with temperatures sitting in the low 60s. The east side of the state was a different story, though. Like I said earlier, lots of sunny skies throughout the eastern half of the Washington state in Yakima, Wenatchee, Spokane, and Pullman. The Seattle Mariners closed out their opening series with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim last night, seeking a series win. However, it didn't start off well for Seattle's Albert Pujols says hello to Asashi Iwakuma with a 2-run bomb into the upper tank in left field. But with the Mariners down 5-1, Kyle Seager rips one deep into the right center power alley, and Robinson Cano likes what he sees from the newly $100 million man, cutting the deficit to just 2. Logan Morrison, with the chance to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th, cannot come up clutch as Mike Trout makes the catch and secures the Angels' 5-3 victory. Spurs forward Kawhi Leonard received the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year award today. Leonard recorded a career-high 148 steals this season, averaging 2.31 a contest, leading the NBA. His 64 games played marks the fewest for a winner in a non-lockout season since former Spurs Hall of Famer David Robinson played in 68 games in the 91-92 season.